Welcome, fellow spiritual seekers. Go ahead and take a deep breath. Just settle in and allow your mind to quiet down. Today, in this explainer, we're embarking on a truly profound journey into Karma Siddhānta. That's the ancient, intricate mechanics of destiny, effort, and the absolute unyielding law of action. Drawn from deep Vedic wisdom and the teachings of enlightened masters, we are going to explore exactly how your life's path is woven, and more importantly, how you can actually navigate it. So whether you're a lifelong seeker or you're just beginning to ask the big questions, I promise you this framework will completely change how you view your everyday life. Let's get started. Okay, let's dive into this. It's literally the ultimate question that every single spiritual seeker asks at some point, isn't it? Are we truly the authors of our own lives, consciously writing our destiny with absolute free will? Or are we simply turning the pages of a pre-written script, just living out a fate that was decided long before we even took our first breath? Think about the unexpected events in your own life. You know, a sudden job loss, a chance meeting with your partner, or maybe a sudden move to a completely new city. Were those random or were they scheduled? Well, to answer this, we first have to unlearn what we think we know about how the universe operates. Right, so let's look at section 1, the true meaning of karma. Now, in modern pop culture, the word karma gets casually thrown around a lot, usually as some sort of cosmic system of instant rewards or divine punishments. But the ancient texts, they treat it with far, far more precision and depth. So let's just strip away these westernized misunderstandings for a moment and look at the actual foundation. In Sanskrit, karma simply means action. Kriyate iti karma, that which is done. Think of the ancient deity Vishwakarma, the divine architect. He is the maker of all things, and his very name reflects that process of creation. You see, karma is not some angry judge sitting up in the clouds. It's more like the relationship between a sculptor, the act of carving, and the finished sculpture itself. Every single thing we do is an action. And action isn't just physical, no. A fleeting thought of anger, that is karma. A whispered word of kindness, karma. Even a silent, hidden wish is karma. Every thought, word, and deed creates a result that absolutely must eventually return to its maker. So, to govern our lives and help us understand our daily impact, the scriptures divide our actions into 5 distinct categories. First up is Nitya. These are your mandatory daily duties. Actions like bathing, your daily prayers, or caring for your dependents. Second, we have Naimittika. These are occasional actions, triggered by specific events, like attending a wedding or performing ceremonies for a newborn child. Third is Kamya. These are the desire-driven actions, things we do purely for our own goals, like striving for a big promotion, buying a flashy new car, or seeking fame. Then fourth, Prayaschitta, actions of atonement. These are specifically designed to correct our missteps and clear our conscience. And finally, the fifth one, Nishiddha. These are prohibited actions, actions that harm others and ourselves, like theft, deceit, or spreading a harmful rumor. These 5 form the absolute boundaries of our daily existence. Literally every action you took today falls into one of these buckets. Moving on to section 2, the 5 factors of action. So now that we know what actions actually are, how do they happen? And perhaps more importantly, you might be wondering, is it possible to just step out of the game entirely and do absolutely nothing? Well, the Bhagavad Gita gives us a pretty striking realization here. It states that no human being can remain actionless, even for a single second. You might think to yourself, I'll just sit here perfectly still like a statue. But guess what? Even then, your heart is beating, your breath is flowing, your mind is processing. Even right now, as you listen to this explainer, you are acting. Your mind is actively processing these words. The laws of nature, this unstoppable flow of existence, they literally compel you to act. And because the universe forces us to constantly be in action, our only real choice is to learn how to act wisely. So, the crucial point is this. Any successful action requires exactly 5 ingredients. First is the body, or adhishtanam. That's the physical foundation where the action occurs. Second is the doer. That's the part of you desiring the result and claiming ownership. Third, the senses. These are your tools to interact with the world, like your eyes, your hands, and your voice. Fourth is the energy, or prana. This is the physical metabolism and vital effort required to actually perform the task. And finally, the 5th ingredient is daivam, the divine will, or the unseen destiny. If you're missing even one of these, your action just cannot be completed. Think of a farmer, right? He has the physical body, he has the desire to grow crops, the tools to dig the earth, and the energy to plant the seeds. But whether it rains, that is Daivam. That's the unseen variable of the universe. All 5 must align for the harvest to come. Let's look at section 3, the chariot of the mind. Out of those 5 factors we just discussed, the ones that cause us the absolute most trouble are the senses and the mind. They literally dictate exactly where our energy goes. So to understand how to control them, the ancient Upanishads provide us with this timeless, brilliant metaphor. And this brilliantly illustrates the whole dynamic. I want you to imagine a grand chariot. The body is the chariot itself. The soul, the Atma, is simply the quiet passenger sitting inside. Your intellect, your buddhi, which is your power of discrimination, that is the driver. The mind represents the reins, and your senses, they are 5 powerful wild horses. Now, horses naturally want to run wildly toward whatever looks good, tastes good, or feels good. When you reach for your phone to aimlessly scroll late at night instead of sleeping, that is the horses taking control. If the intellect doesn't firmly hold the reins of the mind, those wild horses will drag the entire chariot right off a cliff into suffering. Your driver, your intellect, absolutely must take charge. But here's the real challenge. How do we actually control a mind that is constantly wandering and worrying? Adi Shankaracharya offers a brilliant analogy for this. Imagine a wild, ferocious tiger. You can't just politely ask it to sit calmly, right? No way. Instead, what hunters would do is trap the tiger in a deep pit. Now that tiger will jump up against the walls 10, 20, maybe 30 times, roaring with absolute frustration. But eventually, realizing the boundaries are absolute and it cannot escape, it exhausts itself and sits quietly in the center. In the exact same way, you cannot simply tell an anxious mind to stop being anxious. It doesn't work. But by putting up strict fences, like limiting negative news, eating pure foods, and stepping away from toxic environments, the mind loses its fuel. We essentially starve the wild senses, and the wild mind eventually tires out, naturally discovering stillness and peace. This brings us to section 4, the 3 accounts of karma. You see, once an action is performed, the result doesn't just vanish into thin air, not at all. It gets recorded in the cosmic ledger. To understand why certain things happen to us at certain specific times, we have to look at how this ledger is organized across 3 distinct timelines. First is Sanchita, the accumulated bank. Picture a massive, infinite warehouse storing the results of every single action from all your past lifetimes. It's huge. Second is Prarabdha, the active destiny. When you are born, a very specific portion of that giant warehouse is loaded onto a delivery truck for this current lifetime. This is what you absolutely must experience right now. Your physical body, your family, your major life events. And third is Agami, the future karma you are actively generating today, which will eventually be deposited back into that massive warehouse for later. The thing is, you cannot access the massive warehouse of Sanchita. You can only deal with what is on today's delivery truck, your Prarabdha. And the Agami? That's what you're busy packing into boxes today, for tomorrow. Now, section 5, free will versus destiny. This brings us right back to our opening question. Are we trapped? If our current life's joy and suffering are just deliveries from our Prarabdha, our past actions, do we actually have any free will today? Well, now, what's really interesting about this concept is that there is actually no conflict between fate and free will. Not at all. They operate in entirely different domains. Destiny, your Prarabdha, dictates the situations you are handed. It decides the exact hand of cards you are dealt. But free will? That dictates exactly how you play them. Karma might force you to experience a situation, maybe a terribly delayed flight or a really difficult colleague at work, but it never ever forces you to react with anger or greed or despair. Your response in the present moment is entirely 100% your own free will. Let's look at the 50 rupee debt analogy to make this crystal clear. Suppose your past karma dictates you must suffer a loss of 50 rupees. That destiny cannot be changed. The delivery truck has arrived and you have to pay. However, using your free will today, you can choose to accumulate spiritual wealth. If you've built up a bank balance of 100 rupees of inner strength and gratitude, paying that 50 rupee karmic debt is just a minor inconvenience, isn't it? But if your spiritual bank account is completely empty, losing that 50 rupees will feel like a total disaster. Destiny brings the debt, free will builds the cushion. If you use your free will today to build up spiritual resilience, compassion, and wisdom, the inevitable blows of destiny will simply bounce right off you. Which leads us to our final part, section 6, mastering and transcending karma. So if we are bound to experience the results of our past, the ultimate question is, how do we eventually break free? The scriptures don't just explain the rules and leave us hanging, they provide deeply practical tools to cleanse the mind and soften the blow of our destiny. Let's see how this all builds into practical tools for everyday life. How do we practically break free from these karmic loops? Well, the first tool is simple acceptance. Willingly experiencing your karma without constant complaint actually exhausts it faster. The second is fasting and atonement. Think about it. Just as a mahout limits food to tame a wild elephant, fasting weakens the aggressive demands of our senses. It gives our intellect the space to finally take back control. And finally, chanting or japa. Look, the mind is incredibly repetitive. Just like an algorithm on social media feeds you more of exactly what you click on, your mind feeds on repetition, easily flowing down negative pathways. Chanting a divine name or a mantra replaces those toxic mental algorithms with pure divine frequencies. It literally purifies the mind from the inside out. So we are bound by the unyielding laws of action, yes, but we are also gifted with the supreme intelligence to navigate it all. The situations you face today were written by you in the past. The situations you face tomorrow are being written by you right now in this very moment. Your chariot is constantly moving through this beautiful, complex world of ours. The only question that remains is who is truly holding the reins. Thank you so much for walking this path of wisdom with us in today's explainer. May your journey be deeply fulfilling.